Welcome to the Lore Lodge. Tonight, we're descending into the world of Kratos and the Nine Realms. Get comfortable. Close your eyes. Let the day fade away. The fire is warm. The story is waiting. Picture this. You are standing in a forest. It is cold. A deep biting cold that seems to seep into your bones from the frozen ground itself. The air is so crisp it almost crackles when you breathe it in. It smells of pine and damp earth and the promise of a long winter. Snow lies in patches on the forest floor like discarded linen sheets and dusts the high branches of the ancient trees that stand like silent giants all around you. There is a stillness here. A profound quiet that feels older than memory. And yet you can hear a sound, a rhythmic thud, a percussive chop that echoes through the trees. It's the sound of an axe striking wood. You follow it. Moving between the great gray trunks, you see a figure. A man. His back is to you. He is impossibly broad. His skin pale as ash marked with crimson tattoos. He swings a heavy axe with a brutal efficiency that speaks of a lifetime of violence. But there is no rage in his movements, only purpose. This is Kratos, but not the Kratos the world once knew. This is a man trying to forget what he was, a god trying to live as a man. And tonight we tell his story. The story of how the ghost of Sparta became a father in a strange new land. Before the ash, before the blades chained to his flesh, before the pacts with vengeful gods, before he was a ghost, he was a man, a Spartan. To understand the monster he became, you must first understand the man he was born to be. Imagine the dust and heat of ancient Greece. Not the pristine white marble you see in museums, but a vibrant, chaotic, and often brutal world. You are in Sparta, a city-state that was less a city and more a military barracks with a government attached. From the moment you are born here as a man, your life has one single solitary purpose: to be a warrior, to be a cog in the most feared military machine in the known world, the phalanx. Kratos was born into this world. He was not a prince or a demigod by birth. He was simply a Spartan, stronger than most perhaps, more ambitious, but a mortal all the same. You can picture him as a boy, undergoing the agoge, the infamous Spartan training regimen that would make a modern boot camp look like a holiday. He would have been taken from his family at the age of 7, thrown into a barracks with other boys. He would have been taught to fight, to endure pain, to show no weakness, to steal for his food and be punished, not for stealing, but for being caught. Feel the rough texture of the woolen tunic he wears, the constant gnawing hunger in his belly, the sting of the instructor's switch, the cold floor he sleeps on at night. This was not a system designed to build character. It was designed to forge weapons. Human weapons, and Kratos was to be the sharpest weapon of all. He excelled. His natural strength and ferocity were honed to a razor's edge. He learned that victory was the only virtue, and mercy was a weakness the world could not afford. He grew into a man, a captain, then a general. Imagine him now, standing at the head of his army. Perhaps 5,000 men. Their bronze shields polished to a mirror shine their crimson cloaks, a river of blood against the dusty landscape. The air is thick with the smell of sweat leather and hot metal. The sun beats down relentlessly. Kratos is a vision of Spartan ideals. His body is a roadmap of scars, each one a lesson learned. He is respected, feared. He commands loyalty not through speeches, but through action. He is always at the front, the first to charge, the last to retreat. He found something else in this life too, something beyond the battlefield. A wife, Lysandra. In her, he found a quiet corner in a life of endless war, and a daughter, Calliope. She was the light in his world of darkness, a reason to fight beyond glory or conquest, a reason to come home. You can see him trying to reconcile these two lives, the brutal general and the loving father. One hand that can wield a sword to cut down a dozen men is the same hand that gently holds his daughter's face. This is the great irony of Kratos' early life. The very system that made him a formidable protector of Sparta also made him a prisoner of ambition. A Spartan general does not rest on his laurels. He seeks greater glory, bigger armies, more decisive victories. His reputation grew with every campaign. His name was whispered in fear by his enemies and in awe by his men. He was the rising star of Sparta, a man seemingly destined for greatness. But ambition is a hungry fire. It always demands more fuel. And in his quest for ultimate victory for the glory of Sparta and for himself, Kratos pushed his men further and further. He led them across Greece, battling rival city-states and barbarian hordes. His tactics were brutal but effective. His thirst for conquest was insatiable. He believed he was invincible, that his will alone could conquer any foe. It was a belief that would lead him to the edge of an abyss from which he would never truly return. This is the man, a product of a brutal system, a loving father and husband, a warrior of unmatched skill, and a leader consumed by a relentless drive for more. He stands on the precipice of legend, but the gods of Greece are watching, and they are ever fond of tragic heroes. Every great tragedy has a single moment, a turning point where a choice is made, and the path to ruin is set in stone. For Kratos, that moment came on a desolate, windswept plain against an enemy he could not defeat. Picture the scene. The sky is the color of bruised plums threatening a storm. The wind howls, carrying the stench of death and the screams of the dying. Kratos and his Spartan army are facing an overwhelming force, a horde of barbarians from the east. Not soldiers, but a tidal wave of savage fury. Their leader is a giant of a man, a king who wields a war hammer the size of a small boulder. For the first time in his life, Kratos is losing. His disciplined phalanx, the unbreakable wall of Spartan shields and spears, has been shattered. His men are being slaughtered around him. You can hear the dreadful clang of hammer on bronze shield, the wet crunch of bone. You can smell the coppery tang of blood in the air. The Spartans fight with the courage of lions, but courage is not enough. The horde is endless, remorseless. Kratos fights like a cornered wolf. His swords are a blur of motion. He is a whirlwind of death. But for every barbarian he cuts down, two more take their place. He sees the barbarian king striding through the chaos, his hammer crushing Spartans like insects. Kratos moves to intercept him. The two leaders clash in the heart of the maelstrom. It is a battle of raw power against honed skill. But Kratos is exhausted, wounded. His movements are a fraction too slow. The barbarian king sees an opening. The great hammer swings. Kratos is thrown through the air, his armor dented, his body broken. He lies on the ground, the mud and blood of the battlefield clinging to him. The giant king stands over him, his hammer raised for the final killing blow. In this moment, Kratos sees it all slipping away. His life, his army, his honor, his family, his legacy reduced to a forgotten corpse on a nameless field. and he does what he has never done before. He despairs. He cries out. Not to the gods of Olympus. He was too proud for that. He cries out to the one God he knows will listen. The one God who revels in this kind of savagery. He screams into the storm a name that will seal his fate forever. Heirs. Destroy my enemies, and my life is yours. The world seems to hold its breath. The storm overhead breaks. But it is not rain that falls. It is fire. A vortex of dark energy tears through the sky. A presence descends upon the battlefield. A presence of pure rage and bloodlust. The barbarians stop their slaughter, their animal cunning sensing a power far beyond their comprehension. They look to the sky in terror. Ares, the god of war, had answered. He did not appear as a man. He was a force, a pressure in the air, but his gift was horribly real. From the swirling chaos of the vortex, a weapon descends. It floats down towards Kratos. Two short swords attached to his arms by long wicked chains, the blades of chaos. You can imagine Kratos' moment of hesitation. This is a power he does not understand from a source he should not trust. But the barbarian king is still there, his hammer descending. Kratos reaches out. As his hands close around the hilts of the blades, the chains snake around his forearms, searing themselves into his flesh with supernatural heat. They are a part of him now. He can feel it, a surge of divine power. A fire in his veins that burns away his exhaustion, his wounds, his fear. It leaves only rage. Cold, perfect rage. He rises. The blades of chaos are not like his old swords. They are alive, an extension of his will. They whip and dance around him in fiery arcs, a whirlwind of deadly precision. He is no longer just a Spartan general. He is something more. He is the avatar of war itself. The barbarians who had seemed so invincible moments before are now like wheat before a scythe. The blades of chaos reap a terrible harvest. The battle turns into a massacre. Kratos moves through their ranks not as a soldier but as a natural disaster. And at the end of it all, he stands before the barbarian king, the giant who had bested him. With a final roar of borrowed power, Kratos decapitates him, his head held aloft as a trophy for his new master. He has won. His army is saved. But the price is absolute. He looks down at his hands. At the blades now permanently fused to his arms, he is no longer his own man. He belongs to Ares. He has traded his freedom for victory, his soul for power. He does not yet know the terrible depths of the bargain he has struck. He believes he will lead his army in Ares' name, conquering all of Greece. He is a fool, a pawn in a game far older and more cruel than he can imagine. The god of war does not want a general. He wants a monster. Ares now had his champion, his perfect warrior, and he began to shape Kratos into the weapon he desired. Kratos became a creature of pure destruction. He and his army swept across the land, not as conquerors, but as a plague. They laid waste to cities and villages, showing no mercy, all in the name of Ares. Kratos was lost in the bloodlust. The divine power flowing through him was an intoxicating poison. It amplified his own Spartan nature, his own ambition and rage, until there was little else left of the man he had been. The memory of his wife and daughter grew distant, a faint whisper in a hurricane of war. The final test of his loyalty to Ares was yet to come. The final act of cruelty that would shatter him completely and forge him into the ghost of Sparta. Ares directed Kratos to a village that was offering prayers to his sister and rival Athena. He ordered Kratos to raze it to the ground, to slaughter every last worshipper as an offering to him. Imagine Kratos at the head of his army outside this village. The night is dark. Torches cast flickering, dancing shadows. The screams from within the village have already begun as his men swarm through the streets. Kratos himself storms towards the main temple. His mind is a fog of rage. He is an instrument of his master's will. He feels nothing but the familiar thrill of battle. As he reaches the steps of the temple, an old woman appears. The village oracle. She has a strange clarity in her eyes, a terrible pity. She warns him. "Beware, Kratos," she says. "The danger in the temple is not what you think." He brushes her aside. A mad old woman. What does she know of a god's command? He kicks open the heavy temple doors and charges inside his blades, a blur of fiery death. He kills. And he kills. In the smoke-filled darkness of the temple, he cuts down everyone who stands in his way. He is blind with fury. The power of Ares sings in his blood. He does not see their faces. He only sees obstacles to be removed. Fodder for his blades. He is the perfect warrior. Unthinking, unfeeling, unstoppable. And then, it is over. The temple is silent, save for the crackle of flames and the drip of blood. He stands panting in the center of the carnage. The red mist of battle begins to clear from his eyes. He looks down at his final two victims, and the world ends. It is his wife Lysandra and his daughter Calliope. Their eyes are wide with shock and betrayal. They had been in the village visiting family. Ares, in his infinite cruelty, had transported them here magically, placing them in Kratos' path, knowing his champion would be too lost in his rage to see them. It was the ultimate lesson. A warrior must be free of all attachments, all love, all hope. The blades of chaos fall from his numb fingers, clattering on the stone floor. A scream builds in his chest, a sound of such agony and despair that it is barely human. He stumbles out of the burning temple and falls to his knees. The sky is beginning to lighten in the east, heralding a new day. But for Kratos, all light has gone out of the world. The old oracle is there waiting for him. She looks at him not with triumph, but with a profound sadness. She raises her hands and casts one final curse. From this day forward, she intones her voice, echoing with supernatural power. The ashes of your wife and daughter will be your burden to bear. The wind picks up, swirling the ashes from the burning temple, but they do not scatter. They are drawn to Kratos. They cling to his skin, baking themselves into his flesh with a searing white-hot pain. They turn his skin a ghastly pale white, a permanent reminder of his horrific deed. He is no longer Kratos the Spartan. He is marked forever. The ghost of Sparta, his greatest shame worn on his skin for all the world to see. This was Ares' masterpiece. He had not just created a warrior, he had created a being of pure torment. A man whose every waking moment would be a living nightmare filled with the memory of what he had done. He thought this would make Kratos the ultimate servant, a being with nothing left to lose. But he had miscalculated. He had not broken Kratos. He had given him a new purpose. Not conquest, not glory, vengeance. Kratos renounced his oath to Ares. And from that day on, his new life had one singular goal: to kill the god of war. But you cannot simply challenge a god, especially not the god of war. Kratos was still a mortal man, albeit a powerful one. His desire for vengeance burned like a star, but he had no path to achieve it. And so he turned to the only other power he could. He pledged himself to the gods of Olympus, to the very deities Ares sought to overthrow. It was a new kind of servitude, a different kind of chain. For 10 long years, he became the gods' errand boy, their champion, their attack dog. They promised him that if he served them faithfully, they would grant him what he desired most. Not power, not wealth, absolution. They would free him from the nightmares, from the memory of his wife and daughter's faces in that burning temple. Imagine those 10 years, a decade of relentless bloody work. The gods would send him on impossible quests to slay mythological beasts that terrorize the mortal world. You can picture him on the deck of a ship tossed by a furious storm. The rain is a solid sheet of water. The waves are mountains of dark, churning sea, and rising from the depths is the Hydra, a colossal, multi-headed serpent, its roars shaking the very timbers of his vessel. He fought it, alone, the salt spray stinging his eyes, the slippery deck threatening to send him into the churning maw of the beast. He would climb its massive body, dodging, snapping jaws and venomous spit. The blades of chaos a constant fiery dance around him. He learned to cauterize the stumps of severed heads with fire to stop them from regenerating. It was a brutal, desperate fight, but he won. He always won. He would return to the gods bloody but victorious, and they would nod their thanks before giving him his next task. He journeyed to the most dangerous and forsaken corners of the world. He battled gorgons, centaurs, and minotaurs. He descended into the underworld itself, walking among the shades of the dead, a living man in the realm of ghosts. He felt the crushing despair of that place, the air thick with sorrow and regret. It was a place he felt he already belonged. His most famous labor was the quest for Pandora's box, the only weapon said to be capable of killing a god. To find it, he had to navigate Pandora's temple, a colossal structure chained to the back of the titan Kronos, who was condemned to wander the desert of lost souls for eternity. Imagine the scale of it. A desert of shifting sands stretching to the horizon under a blistering sun, and in the distance, a mountain that moves. A living mountain that is the cursed Titan. Kratos climbed the Titan's back, a speck of a man on a landscape of living rock and chains. He entered the temple, a labyrinth of deadly traps and complex puzzles designed by the gods to keep mortals out. Feel the oppressive silence of the temple halls, broken only by the grinding of gears or the scuttling of unseen monsters. He endured trials of physical strength, mental acuity, and sheer bloody-minded endurance for 3 days. He was a pawn in their divine games, a piece to be moved around their cosmic chessboard. Throughout it all, the nightmares never stopped. Every time he closed his eyes, he was back in that temple. He could smell the smoke. He could see their faces. The forgiveness he so desperately craved was always just out of reach, a carrot dangled by the gods to keep him obedient. His rage festered. His hatred for Ares grew, but it was joined by a simmering resentment for all the gods, for their callousness, their manipulations, their broken promises. After 10 years, his service was almost at an end. His final task was set. Ares, mad with power and jealousy, had launched a direct assault on the city of Athens, the patron city of Athena. The gods were forbidden by Zeus's law from fighting each other directly, so they needed a mortal champion to do their bidding. They needed Kratos. They pointed him towards Athens and gave him his mission. Use Pandora's box. Kill Ares. Do this, and your past will be forgiven. Your mind will be wiped clean. It was the moment he had waited for. A decade of servitude, all leading to this. The chance to finally face the god who had ruined his life. He wasn't just fighting for the gods anymore. He was fighting for himself, for the memory of his family. He went to Athens, not as a servant, but as an angel of vengeance. The ghost of Sparta had come to collect his debt. The battle for Athens was a cataclysm. Ares had descended upon the city in his true godly form. A giant figure clad in monstrous black armor, he strode through the streets, crushing buildings and swatting soldiers like flies. The city was in flames. It was a scene of apocalyptic destruction. Kratos fought his way through the chaos. He battled Ares' legions of undead soldiers and mythical beasts. He was a force of nature driven by a singular purpose. He finally retrieved Pandora's box from the temple on Kronos' back, only to be killed by Ares himself, who impaled him with a massive stone column thrown from miles away. Kratos found himself once more in the underworld, but even death could not stop him. He fought his way out of Hades, clawing his way back to the land of the living, a feat few mortals had ever accomplished. He returned to Athens. He found Pandora's box, and he opened it. You can imagine the energy that erupted from it, a torrent of divine power designed by the gods to fell one of their own. The power floods into Kratos. He grows in size until he matches Ares. Two gods of war locked in a titanic struggle amidst the ruins of a burning city. Their battle was legendary. It raged across the physical and mental planes. Ares tried to break Kratos' spirit by trapping him in a nightmare realm, forcing him to relive the murder of his family over and over again. He forced Kratos to fight endless copies of himself, while his wife and daughter were being torn apart. But this time was different. Kratos fought back. He poured all his grief, all his rage, all his pain into his defense. He could not save them in the vision, but he could protect their memory. He broke free from the illusion, his will stronger than the gods. In the final confrontation, Kratos seized a giant stone sword from a statue and faced Ares. It was no longer a battle of divine power, but of sheer will. Blade against blade, man against God. With a final guttural roar born of a decade of pain and a lifetime of rage, Kratos drove the blade through Ares' chest. There was a moment of stunned silence. Then the god of war exploded in a flash of golden light. It was over. The seemingly impossible had been achieved. A mortal had killed a god. Kratos stood panting in the rubble, his body battered, his spirit exhausted. He had his revenge. He fell to his knees, waiting for the release he had been promised. He waited for the nightmares to cease, for the memories to fade. But nothing happened. The gods appeared before him. Athena confessed. They had promised to forgive his sins, and they had. The other gods would no longer hold his past against him, but they never promised to remove his memories. No mortal, she said. No god even can forget such deeds. It was the final betrayal. 10 years of service, a decade of bloodshed and horror, all for nothing. The one thing he wanted more than anything in the world was denied to him. His revenge felt hollow, empty. It had not healed him. It had only left a bigger void. Broken and abandoned by the gods, Kratos walked to the highest cliffs in all of Greece, the suicide bluffs. Believing there was no hope left, he cast himself into the Aegean Sea, seeking the peace in death that he could not find in life. But the gods were not finished with him. As he fell, Athena intervened. She pulled him from the sea. She told him that with Ares gone, the throne of the god of war was empty. They needed a new one, and he, Kratos, was the only one worthy. They offered him a place on Mount Olympus, a seat among the 12 Olympians. He accepted, not out of desire or ambition, but because there was nothing else left for him to do. He ascended to Olympus. He sat on the massive throne of war. The ghost of Sparta, the man who had climbed from mortal soldier to a god. He had everything a man could ever want: power, immortality, a place in the pantheon. But as he sat there on his cold stone throne overlooking the world, he was more alone than ever. The nightmares continued. The rage still burned. He had killed his enemy, but he was still a prisoner of his own past. He was the new god of war, but he had no peace. Life as a god was not what Kratos had imagined. Olympus was not a haven of peace. It was a viper's nest of paranoia, intrigue, and ancient grudges. The other gods never truly accepted him. They saw him as an upstart, a brutal mortal who had stumbled into their exclusive club. They feared him for his power, and they despised him for his past. You can picture him sitting on his throne, a brooding, solitary figure. While the other gods feasted and reveled, Kratos was haunted. He found no solace in his divinity. He was still the ghost of Sparta, just with a grander title and a better view. His rage, which had been focused on Ares, now had no target. It soured within him, turning into a bitter resentment for all of Olympus, especially for its king Zeus. Zeus in particular was wary of Kratos. He saw in Kratos the same cycle of patricide that had brought him to power. Zeus had overthrown his own father, the Titan Kronos, and Kronos had overthrown his father Uranus. Zeus saw Kratos, a son he had secretly fathered, as the next link in that terrible chain. He saw the same ambition, the same uncontrollable rage, and so he conspired against him. Kratos, for his part, poured all his energy into what he knew best: war. He became the patron of Sparta, leading them to conquer city after city. He would descend from Olympus as a giant and fight alongside his mortal armies. His methods were far more brutal and destructive than Ares had ever been. He was a god consumed by his own inner turmoil, inflicting it upon the mortal world. This led to the final break. The other gods, especially Zeus, could not tolerate his constant interference and destruction. They tricked him. Zeus offered him a legendary sword, the Blade of Olympus, telling him he needed to pour all his godly power into it to destroy his enemies. It was a ruse. As Kratos drained his divinity into the blade, making himself mortal once more, Zeus revealed his betrayal. He impaled Kratos with the very sword that held his power. As Kratos lay dying, Zeus stood over him. He revealed the truth: that he was Kratos' father, and that he was breaking the cycle of son killing father by killing Kratos first. With his last breath, Kratos swore revenge. He was dragged down once again to the underworld. But this time he was not alone. He was aided by the Titan Gaia, the mother of the earth, who had her own ancient grudge against Zeus. She healed him, told him that to defeat Zeus, he must travel back in time, using the power of the Sisters of Fate. A new war began, not just against one god, but against the entire pantheon. Kratos, aided by the Titans, waged war on Olympus itself. What followed was a campaign of deicide, unlike anything the world had ever seen. Kratos systematically hunted down and killed the gods of Olympus one by one: Poseidon, Hades, Helios, Hermes, Hera, even his own half-brother Hercules. Each death was brutal and personal, and with each god that fell, the world descended further into chaos. Without Poseidon, the seas rose and flooded the land. Without Helios, the sun vanished, plunging the world into darkness. Without Hades, the souls of the dead were unleashed upon the living. Kratos didn't care. He was a man so consumed by his quest for vengeance that he was willing to destroy the entire world to achieve it. He was no hero. He was a plague, an engine of destruction. He finally confronted Zeus at the peak of Olympus. Their battle shattered the heavens. He defeated Zeus, but not before the spirit of fear was released from Pandora's box, which he had opened long ago, poisoning the minds of the gods and driving them to their paranoia. In the end, he stood on a ruined Olympus amidst the corpses of his family. The world below was a drowned, chaotic wasteland. He had his revenge. Again and again, it was empty. Athena appeared, demanding he return the power of hope, which had also been in the box, and which he had absorbed, the power to restore the world. He looked at her, at the ruin he had created, and he made a different choice. Instead of giving the power to her to wield as she saw fit, he took the blade of Olympus and impaled himself. He released the power of hope not to the gods, but to the mortal survivors below. A final act of defiance, and perhaps his first truly selfless act. He lay there dying on the ruins of Olympus, his vengeance complete, his purpose served. He had destroyed everything. His home, his family, his entire world. The Greek pantheon was gone, wiped out by the sun they had created and betrayed. As his life faded, the screen goes dark. But that was not the end. The post-credits scene of that epic shows a trail of blood leading away from where Kratos lay. He had survived. How? It is never fully explained. Perhaps the power of hope he unleashed was enough to sustain him. Perhaps his will to live, born of sheer stubbornness, was just that strong. He dragged his broken body from the ruins of his world and began to walk. Imagine that journey. A god who has rejected his divinity. A man who has destroyed his home. Walking through a world he has broken. He is utterly alone. He has no purpose. No one to fight. Nothing to avenge. He just walks. For years, decades, perhaps centuries. Time has little meaning for a being like him. He walked away from the warm Mediterranean sun. He walked away from the ruins of Greece. He walked north, into colder lands. He was seeking a place where no one knew his name. A place where the sky was not filled with the ghosts of the gods he had murdered. A place so far removed from his past that he might finally be able to forget. He eventually came to the lands of the north, to Midgard, the realm of men in a new mythology. The air was cold and clean. The forests were deep and ancient. The gods here were different. The Aesir, Odin, Thor, they were unknown to him and he to them. Here he was, just a stranger, a man with a dark past and haunted eyes. He tried to build a new life. He put away the blades of chaos, the symbols of his servitude and his shame. He tried to control the rage that had defined him for so long. He learned to live quietly, to hunt, to survive. And it was here in this cold, quiet land that he met a woman, a warrior named Faye. She was his equal in combat, but his superior in spirit. She saw through the monster, through the ghost of Sparta. She saw the man underneath, the one who was capable of love, who yearned for peace. With her, he found a measure of it. They married. They built a home deep in the woods away from the world. And they had a son, Atreus. For the first time since Calliope, Kratos had a family. He had something to protect, something to live for beyond vengeance. He was determined to be a better father than his own had been. Determined to protect his son from the world, but also from himself, from the monster he knew still slept within him. And that is where we find him. At the beginning of this new saga, chopping wood in a snow-dusted forest. His wife Faye has just died. Her last wish was for her ashes to be scattered from the highest peak in all the realms. A simple request that will force this quiet, reclusive man and his young son out of their seclusion and into a world of Norse gods, monsters, and myths. He is older now. His skin is still pale as ash, but it is weathered by time and northern winters. The crimson tattoos are faded. He wears a beard to hide the scars on his face, and perhaps to hide from the man he was. The rage is still there. You can see it simmering behind his eyes. A banked fire. But it is controlled, leashed. He is a man at war, not with the world but with himself. He is a father trying to teach his son how to survive, while desperately trying to hide from him the truth of who and what his father truly is. The story is no longer about a god killer. It is about a father and a son, and a journey to say goodbye. The path of the ghost of Sparta was a river of blood. He hopes this new path will lead somewhere better. Picture yourself in a forest, not just any forest. This one is ancient, primordial. The air you breathe is so crisp and clean, it feels like the first breath ever taken. It carries the scent of pine needles, damp earth, and melting snow. You are in Midgard, the realm of man. Though from where you stand, humanity feels like a distant rumor. Your boots crunch softly on a layer of fallen leaves, still partly frozen from the night. Above you, the canopy of towering trees forms a natural cathedral, filtering the pale morning light into soft, dappled patterns on the forest floor. There is a deep and profound silence here, the kind of quiet that is not empty but full of the gentle hum of life going about its business. A distant bird call, the rustle of some small creature in the undergrowth, the slow creak of a tree branch, heavy with age. Now, feel the weight in your hands. It is substantial, solid, reassuring. You are holding an axe. But this is no simple woodcutter's tool. Let your gaze drift down and truly see it. The handle is long and smooth, crafted from a dark, dense wood, worn to a perfect fit by a grip of impossible strength. It is wrapped in leather straps, not for decoration, but for function, for purchase, for control. The cold of the morning seems to cling to the very material of the axe, a chill that has nothing to do with the weather. Your eyes follow the line of the handle up to the head. It is a masterpiece of smithing, a single, formidable piece of steel, gray and unadorned for the most part, but bearing the scars of countless encounters. Small nicks and scratches that tell stories of their own. The main blade is broad and elegantly curved, honed to an edge that looks sharp enough to split not just wood but light itself. Opposite it, a smaller, thicker blade provides balance. A perfect counterweight. It looks practical, efficient, deadly. But it is the details that draw you in. Etched into the flat of the axe head are runes. They are not carved with aggression, but with a delicate, almost loving precision. They spiral and flow, glowing with a faint, internal light. A soft blue luminescence that pulses gently, like a sleeping heart. If you could read them, you would know they speak of promises, of protection, of a power held in careful check. This is the Leviathan axe. And for the man who carries it, it is far more than a weapon. It is a new beginning. This axe was not forged in the fires of war, nor was it created for conquest. Its story begins not with a king or a general, but with a mother. a giantess named Faye, a warrior who saw a future she could not be a part of, and so prepared for it with all the love and foresight she possessed. She knew the man she loved, Kratos, would need a weapon, not for his old life, but for the new one they had built together. A life of quiet solitude, of raising a son, a life that would inevitably be threatened. So she sought out the finest craftsmen the Nine Realms had ever known, the Huldra brothers, Brok and Sindri, two dwarves whose skill with a hammer and forge was so legendary, it was said they could shape reality itself. You can almost picture their workshop, not some dark soot-stained cavern, but a place of meticulous order and brilliant innovation. The air thick with the smell of hot metal, quenching oil, and the strange electric tang of magic being woven into steel. Imagine the sound, the rhythmic, percussive clang of hammers. Brok, the gruff, blue-skinned master of the raw materials, his strikes powerful and certain, each blow a declaration of intent. Sindri, the fastidious, germ-hating artist, his touch more delicate, refining the work, polishing, enchanting, ensuring every line and curve was perfect. They were opposites in every way, yet together, their work was greater than the sum of its parts. A perfect, if reluctant, harmony. Faye did not ask them for a weapon of ultimate destruction. She asked for something more difficult. She asked for a weapon of balance. She knew of another weapon being forged in the realms, a hammer of immense power, destined for the hands of the god of thunder. Mjolnir, a tool of brute force and devastating lightning. Faye knew that such a power unchecked could shatter the fragile peace she cherished. The Leviathan axe was to be its equal, its opposite, its answer. So Brok and Sindri poured all their skill into its creation. They chose the finest metals, alloys folded 1,000 times for strength. They worked under a sky filled with Norse constellations, their hammers ringing out a song of creation. And as they worked, they imbued it not with the chaotic energy of the storm, but with the focused, biting cold of Fimble winter itself. The axe was not just enchanted with frost, it was frost. It was the stillness of a frozen lake, the silent fall of the first snow, the unstoppable power of a glacier. Feel that power now, humming in your hands. The cold is not just on the surface of the metal, it seems to emanate from within, a deep, resonant chill that you can feel in your bones. It does not numb you. Instead, it focuses the mind. It is a cold of precision, of control, a reminder to think before you strike, to measure your actions. This is the lesson Faye wanted to pass on, a lesson her husband, in his fury, had never learned. When the axe was complete, a perfect physical object, Faye added the final touch, her own magic. It was she who carved the runes, she who bound the axe to the wielder with a loyalty that defied physics. It is why, when thrown, the axe will always return. You can picture it, arcing through the cold air, spinning end over end, before flying back to your waiting hand with a satisfying solid thud. It is a connection, a bond between wielder and weapon, forged by a mother's love and a giant's foresight. For years, Kratos used this axe as a tool. He used it to chop wood for the fire that kept his family warm. The blade, sharp enough to fell a god, was used to fell trees for their humble home. He used it to hunt, to provide for his son Atreus. He treated it with a quiet respect. It was part of his new identity. A woodsman, a father, a man hiding from his past, trying to build a future with this simple, elegant tool of survival. He was trying to convince himself that was all it was. But the past is a stubborn thing. It does not stay buried. And as the world intrudes, as gods and monsters come knocking at his door, the axe must once again become a weapon. And in his hands, its true potential is unleashed. The frost that coats its edge can freeze an enemy solid. The weight of it can shatter shields and break bones. It is a formidable instrument of combat, yet even in battle there is a discipline to it. Each swing is deliberate. Each throw is calculated. It is the weapon of a seasoned warrior, not a berserker. It is the weapon of a man fighting for something, not just against everything. It is the weapon of a father. But there are some things that ice cannot touch, some pains that run too deep, some enemies that require a different kind of fire. Let the forest of Midgard fade from your mind. Replace the scent of pine and snow with something else. The smell of dust, of stale air, of old memories and dried blood. You are no longer outside in the crisp morning. You are indoors. In the small, rustic cabin, Kratos calls home. The fire in the hearth is burning low, casting long, dancing shadows on the wooden walls. The mood is somber, heavy. A loved one is sick. And the frost of the Leviathan axe, for all its power, is useless. In fact, it is making things worse. The boy, Atreus, is afflicted by an illness that is triggered by the conflict within him. A conflict his father does not understand. A sickness that is burning him from the inside out. And to fight that fire, Kratos needs a different element. He needs fire of his own. He knows what he has to do, and the thought of it fills him with a dread colder than any winter. He has to go home in a way, not to Greece, but to a part of himself he has kept locked away, buried under the floorboards of his new life. Follow him. Feel the rough, worn wood of the floor beneath your feet as he pulls back a bearskin rug. Underneath, a trapdoor. He lifts it, and a gust of cold, stagnant air rises to meet you. It carries the faint metallic scent of old violence. He descends a short ladder, and you are with him in the small, dark space beneath the house. It is his secret, his shame. His gaze falls upon a large wooden chest, bound in iron, but his attention is on what is lying on top of it. A set of linen strips, wrapped tightly around two objects. They are stained, discolored with age and something darker. He reaches out a hand, not with the confidence he holds the axe, but with a hesitation that speaks volumes, a reluctance born of deep trauma. His fingers tremble slightly as he begins to unwrap the bindings. The linen falls away, brittle with age, and there they are, lying on the cloth, revealed in the dim light. They look ancient, brutal. They are two short, curved blades attached to long, thick chains. The metal is a dark, angry bronze, almost black. The design is cruel, serrated along the back edge with a hook-like point. Unlike the elegant utility of the axe, these were made for one purpose, and one purpose only: to rip, to tear, to kill. These are the blades of chaos. As Kratos looks at them, he is not just seeing two weapons. He is seeing a ghost. His own ghost. The ghost of Sparta. He is seeing the man he was, the monster he created. Each link in those chains is a reminder of a life of servitude, of a terrible bargain made in a moment of desperation. Let the memory wash over you. Travel back in time, far from these cold Norse lands, back to the sun-scorched battlefields of ancient Greece. Picture a younger Kratos, a captain of the Spartan army, proud, arrogant, unbeaten. He stands on a field littered with the dead and dying, facing an insurmountable barbarian horde. His men are broken, his army is about to be annihilated, his own life is forfeit. Defeat is inevitable. And in that moment of ultimate failure, he does what he has never done before. He despairs. He looks to the heavens, stained with the smoke of battle, and he screams, a plea, a bargain. He calls out to the one God he believes can save him, Ares, the god of war. He offers his life, his service, in exchange for victory over his enemies. And Ares answers. The sky splits open. A column of fire descends upon the battlefield. A colossal divine figure of war appears. And in a flash of divine power, the barbarian army is incinerated. Kratos is saved, but salvation comes at a terrible price. He has offered his life in service, and Ares has come to collect. From the heavens, two weapons descend, trailing smoke and embers. They are extensions of Ares' own fiery will, the blades of chaos. They fly towards Kratos, not to his hands, but to his flesh. Imagine the searing, unimaginable pain. The chains wrap around his forearms, the metal glowing white hot. They burn through his skin, through his muscle and sinew. They fuse themselves directly to his bones. This is not a gift. It is a brand, a mark of ownership. Kratos is no longer his own man. He is a tool of Ares. Feel the difference. The Leviathan axe was given out of love, to be held. The blades of chaos were given out of a lust for power, and they are not held. They are worn. They are a part of him, a permanent, physical manifestation of his greatest mistake, a constant burning reminder of his enslavement. The scars they left, even after they were removed, are a pale white, a testament to the divine fire that cauterized his very soul. Back in the cellar in Midgard, Kratos reaches for them. As his hands close around the worn leather grips, the blades ignite. Not with the cold, controlled light of the axe, but with a furious, hungry orange glow. Flames lick along the edges and dance up the chains. The air in the small space grows hot, stifling. You can hear the low, angry hum of their power, a stark contrast to the quiet pulse of the axe. They seem to want to be used. They hunger for it. He stands up, the blades hanging from his arms. The weight is familiar, terribly so. It is the weight of his sins, the weight of a past he can never truly outrun. As he refastens the chains to his arms, he is not just equipping a weapon. He is putting on his old skin. He is becoming the ghost of Sparta once more. Not out of choice, but out of a desperate, fatherly necessity. He says nothing, but the look on his face is one of profound self-loathing. He has kept these horrors hidden from his son. He has tried to pretend that part of him was dead. But now, to save his boy, he must resurrect the monster. He must embrace the fire he has spent so long trying to extinguish. Now hold the image of these two weapons in your mind. Side by side, the axe and the blades, ice and fire, control and chaos, the future he wants and the past he despises. They are a perfect metaphor for the duality of Kratos himself. The Leviathan axe is a tool of the North. It is stoic, patient. It represents his new life, his attempt at discipline. Think of how it moves. It is thrown with precision. It can be recalled at will. It is used for targeted strikes, for freezing enemies, for solving puzzles. Its use requires thought, strategy. It is the weapon of a thinking man, a man who has learned the cost of mindless rage. Its handle is wood, its essence is ice. It connects him to the nature of Midgard, to the world he now calls home. It represents his bond with Faye, her last gift, her enduring love. When you hold the axe, you feel its purpose. It is there to protect, to build a shield, to keep the world at bay. It is a defensive weapon as much as an offensive one. It is the embodiment of the phrase, "Speak softly and carry a big stick." It is quiet power. Power under immense control. It is Kratos, the father, the protector, the teacher. The blades of chaos, however, are a tool of the South. Of the hot-blooded, passionate world of Greece he fled. They are impatience personified. They represent his old life, his unrestrained fury. Think of how they move. They are not thrown, they are unleashed. They swing on their chains in wide, sweeping arcs of destruction. They are an area of effect weapon, designed for crowd control, for pure, unadulterated carnage. Their use is not about strategy. It is about overwhelming force. They are the weapons of a berserker. Their grips are leather and bronze. Their essence is fire. They connect him not to the world, but to his own inner turmoil. They represent his bond with Ares, a bond of slavery, a curse, a constant reminder of the atrocities he was forced to commit and the ones he committed willingly. They are loud, they are angry, they scream and hiss and burn. When you hold the blades, you do not feel purpose. You feel hunger. Their hunger. They are not there to protect. They are there to destroy, to pull enemies closer, to set the world on fire. They are the embodiment of a scorched earth policy. They are loud power, power unleashed. They are Kratos the god killer, the destroyer of pantheons, the monster. Kratos' journey in these new lands is the story of him learning to carry both. He cannot discard the blades. They are part of his history, part of who he is. To deny them is to deny a fundamental truth about himself, a weakness his enemies can exploit. But he cannot rely on them either, lest he become the monster again and lose the one thing he has left to live for his son. And so he must learn balance. He must learn to wield ice and fire, not as opposing forces, but as complementary ones. Watch him fight. He opens an attack with the axe, throwing it to freeze a key target, taking them out of the fight temporarily. Then, while the axe is still embedded in its target, he draws the blades. The fiery chaos erupts. He dances a whirlwind of death, clearing the lesser foes, his chains a blur of motion, the fire searing all who come near. Then, with a flex of his will, he recalls the axe. It rips free from its frozen victim and flies back to his hand. He seamlessly switches his style. The wild, spinning attacks of the blades give way to the heavy, crushing blows of the axe. He can block with it, using its flat side as a makeshift shield. He can use its frosty power to slow the advance of a powerful enemy. It is a beautiful, deadly ballet, a dance of two warring natures brought into a difficult temporary harmony. This is the genius of his evolution as a warrior. He has not suppressed his rage. He has learned to channel it. The blades are no longer his master. He is theirs. He uses their chaos with the discipline he learned from the axe. He brings the fire, but he chooses where it burns. He is no longer just the god of war, a title that implies only destruction. He is becoming something more, a master of his own internal elements. Think of the physical toll this must take. The shift from the weighted, two-handed grip of the axe to the frenetic, chain swinging of the blades. It requires a level of strength and coordination that is truly divine. The muscles in his back and shoulders constantly adjusting. The focus in his eyes tracking multiple enemies, deciding in a split second whether the situation calls for a precise freezing throw or a wide, fiery sweep. This is not just a gameplay mechanic, it is the core of his story. The story of a man trying to reconcile the person he was with the person he wants to be. He cannot erase the red tattoos that mark his skin, the permanent symbols of his oath to his lost brother. He cannot regrow the family he slaughtered in a blind God-induced rage. He cannot wash the ash of their bodies from his skin, the reason he is the pale ghost of Sparta. But he can try to build something new. He can use his terrible strength for a different purpose. And so, the weapons become more than just tools. They are his burdens. The axe is the burden of his new promise to Faye, to protect their son. It is a heavy responsibility. The blades are the burden of his past sins, a weight he must carry forever. And in carrying both, in learning to switch between them, he finds his path forward. Not as a god, not as a monster, but as a man, a father, doing whatever it takes to protect his child, even if it means unearthing the very demons he tried to bury. The cold of the axe is a constant reminder of the control he must maintain. The heat of the blades, a reminder of the fury that still lies within him, a fire that could consume him if he lets it. It is a perilous balancing act, performed on the edge of a knife every single day. Let the heat of battle fade. Let the clang of steel and the roar of fire fall silent. Return once more to the quiet of the forest. The fighting is done. For now. The air is still and cold again. Kratos is sitting by a small, crackling fire. Atreus is asleep nearby, wrapped in furs. You are watching him perform a ritual, a quiet moment of maintenance. In his lap rests the Leviathan axe. He has a whetstone in one hand and a soft cloth in the other. He works methodically, carefully. He draws the stone along the edge of the blade, the scraping sound a soft, rhythmic shush in the otherwise silent woods. It is a meditative act, a moment of peace. He is caring for the tool that helps him care for his son. The runes on its surface pulse with their soft blue light, reflecting in his focused eyes. He feels the texture of the handle, the familiar weight. He checks the leather bindings. He treats it with the respect a craftsman gives his favorite tool. It is an extension of his will to protect. It is his hope. A few feet away, lying on the snow-dusted ground, are the blades of chaos. Their fires are out. They lie dormant. The metal is dark and cold to the touch. He does not polish them. He does not sharpen them. He does not give them the same care and attention. He simply acknowledges their presence, a necessary evil, a part of him he cannot discard, but does not have to cherish. They are his history, his shame, and his strength. A terrible power to be called upon only when all other options have failed, when the quiet control of the axe is not enough, when the monster must be let out of its cage for a short, violent time before being locked away again. And in this quiet moment, you can understand the man. Not the god slayer, not the raging Spartan, but the father. a man caught between two worlds, between two identities, symbolized by the two weapons that lie beside him in the firelight. One, a gift of love from his future. The other, a brand of servitude from his past. His journey is not about choosing one over the other. It is about learning to live with both, to carry the weight of his past without letting it destroy his future, to wield the tools of his old trade in service of his new life. As the hearth settles to a steady glow, and the Norse woods settle into a deep and peaceful slumber, he finishes his work. The axe is ready, the blades are waiting, and the father is watching over his son, ready for whatever comes next. And so you carry them both. You learn to live with the duality strapped to your body, one cold against your back, the other hot against your forearms, a constant reminder of fire and ice, of a past you cannot outrun, and a future you must protect. It is a strange equilibrium, a balance achieved not through peace, but through the acceptance of perpetual inner conflict. In the quiet moments between battles, you find yourself tracing the intricate patterns on the Leviathan axe. The cool, smooth wood of the haft feels solid in your grasp. It smells faintly of pine and winter. It is a thing of careful craftsmanship, a tool made with purpose and perhaps even love. It feels like a promise made to a wife, to a life of quiet dignity. It is heavy with the weight of what you hope to become. Then your gaze falls to your arms, to the scarred leather bindings that hold the blades of chaos. You do not need to touch them to feel their heat, a low, slumbering ember that never truly dies. The chains are cold iron, a stark contrast to the ever-present warmth of the blades themselves. They do not smell of the forest. They smell of old blood and ozone and regret. They are not a promise. They are a debt that can never be fully repaid. To carry one is to choose a path. To carry both is to admit that the path is not a straight line. It is a winding, difficult road that doubles back on itself. The axe is your discipline, your control. It is the deep, slow breath you take before acting. The blades are your history, your rage, the storm that threatens to break. For so long you believed you had to choose between the two, the calm or the storm, the man or the monster. But the truth you are slowly coming to understand is that you are both. The storm is a part of you, the rage is a tool, and like any tool, it can be mastered. The axe teaches the blade's precision. The blades remind the axe of the terrible cost of failure. They are not opposites fighting for control. They are two halves of a weapon that is you. Your will is the hand that wields them both. Your son sees this. He sees you wield the axe to fell a tree for the fire, its movements efficient and clean. He sees you use the blades to clear a path through monstrous foes, their dance a terrifying spectacle of focused fury. He is learning a lesson more profound than any story or riddle. He is learning that a person is not defined by their tools, but by the intent with which they are used. He is learning that strength and compassion are not mutually exclusive. The sound of the axe returning to your hand becomes a comfort. A solid, reassuring thud as it settles into your palm. It is loyal, it is predictable, it knows its master. The sound of the blades is different. It is the sound of metal scraping against leather, the faint clinking of chains with every step you take. It is a restless sound, a reminder that some things can never be put down. They can only be carried. There is a shift in your soul, slow but undeniable. The shame associated with the blades begins to recede, replaced by a grim acceptance. They were forged as instruments of a cruel god's vengeance. They were bound to you as a mark of your servitude. But Ares is dead. The gods of your homeland are a fading memory. The chains that bind the blades to your flesh are still there, but the metaphysical chains of ownership are broken. They are yours now, truly yours. Their purpose is what you make it. And their purpose is to protect your son, to carve a future for him free from the mistakes of his father. This new purpose changes them. Or perhaps it changes you. The fire within them no longer feels like a wildfire threatening to consume you. It feels more like a forge, a fire that can be channeled and used to shape something new, to protect something precious. The ice of the axe is not just the cold of the grave, it is the stillness of a frozen lake, beneath which life waits for the spring. So you stand, a god in exile, a father in a strange land bearing these two burdens. The weight is immense. It always will be. But it no longer feels impossible. The axe is your vow to be better. The blades are your memory of what happens when you are not. Together, they keep you balanced on the knife edge of your own nature. They are your past and your future, carried in the present with every single step. And in that balance, you find a strange kind of peace. Not the peace of forgetting, but the peace of acceptance. The quiet strength of a man who knows exactly who he is and what he must do. So you learn to carry them both. The cold iron of the axe on your back, a constant, steady pressure. The familiar, dreadful weight of the blades at your side. They are no longer a choice between two lives. They have become the testament to a single, complicated existence. You are the father who wields the axe. You are the warrior who must answer for the blades. There is no separating them, just as there is no separating the man you are from the god you were. They represent two different kinds of control. The axe is about mastery over the self. It returns to your hand with a thought. It freezes and holds. It is deliberate, precise, a reflection of the discipline you have fought so hard to build in this new life. The blades, however, represent control over the chaos without. They are a storm you unleash, but do not command. A fire that burns what you direct it towards, but always threatens to consume you too. To hold both is to accept this paradox. To be both the steady hand and the raging inferno. It is a balance learned over centuries of pain. You feel the cool leather grip of the axe, a gift from your wife, a promise of a future. Then your fingers brush against the worn chains of the blades, a curse from a dead god. A reminder of a past that can never be erased. They do not cancel each other out. Instead, they inform one another. The memory of the fire teaches you the value of the ice. Think of the journey not as a straight line from one weapon to the other, not as an evolution from chaos to order, but as a circle. You began in Greece with fire and chains forged in the darkest pits. You fled to a land of ice and sought peace with a weapon of cold precision. But the past returned. It always does. And you had to unearth that fire, not to become who you were, but to protect who you have become. The Leviathan axe was a tool to help you forget. The blades of chaos are a tool that force you to remember. And perhaps that is the final lesson they offer. That true strength is not found in forgetting your mistakes or burying your past. It is found in carrying them, in acknowledging their weight and choosing to walk forward anyway. Choosing to be better despite them, because of them. Your son sees you with both. He sees the calm protector who can fell a tree with a single swing of the axe. He also sees the terrifying god who can clear a battlefield with a storm of fire. He does not yet understand the cost of that fire. That is a burden you carry for him. you carry the past so that he might have a future. The cold of the axe is for his protection. The heat of the blades is for his survival. And so the tale of two burdens becomes a story of one man's soul, a soul etched with frost and seared by flame. They are more than metal and magic. They are your history made manifest, your regrets and your hopes held in each hand. As you stand in the quiet of the Norse woods with the snow falling softly around you, you feel their combined weight. It is immense, but for the first time in a very long time, it does not feel like it is going to break you. It feels like an anchor, grounding you to the present, reminding you of all you have to fight for and all you have to lose. Let your mind drift. Feel the weight of your body becoming a gentle anchor, holding you softly in place. You are not here to strive or to struggle. You are here to simply be. And in that stillness, a new space can open up before you. Imagine you are standing in a place that is not a place at all. It is a space between spaces. Above you, below you, all around you, is a soft twilight abyss, filled with the slow, silent dance of cosmic dust. It is not cold here, nor is it warm. It is simply neutral, a perfect equilibrium. And through this impossible void, you see them, great, luminous branches of impossible size. They are not made of wood, not in any way you understand. They seem to be woven from pure light, from solidified starlight and captured nebulae. This is Yggdrasil, the world tree. Each leaf, the size of a continent, shimmers with a different color, a different energy. You can feel a slow, deep thrumming in the air, a vibration that passes through you, so low it is almost beneath the threshold of hearing. It is the heartbeat of the cosmos, the slow, patient lifeblood of the 9 realms, pumping through these ethereal boughs. Your journey tonight is not one of conflict, but of quiet observation. You are a silent traveler, a guest of the void, here to witness the realms that lie hidden, the stories that are whispered on the cosmic winds that blow between these branches. You are here to visit the lands of giants and gods, not with a weapon in your hand, but with a quiet curiosity in your heart. The air around you shifts. It is not a wind, but a change in pressure, a change in temperature. One of the great branches ahead begins to glow with a pale, icy blue light. A new path is opening for you. A path to a place of endings and of profound, silent memory. You are going to Jotunheim, the land of the giants. You do not travel in a boat or on foot. The world simply resolves around you. The twilight void of the in-between space dissolves, replaced by a sky of the deepest, purest indigo. It is a sky you have never seen before, filled with unfamiliar constellations that glitter like diamond dust on black velvet. And beneath this sky, silence. A profound, heavy silence that seems to absorb all sound. You are standing on a mountain peak, but the word mountain feels wholly inadequate. Everything here is built to a scale that your mind struggles to process. The peak you stand on is merely one knuckle of a colossal stone hand, fingers the size of skyscrapers reaching for that cold, distant sky. You look down, and the landscape is a graveyard of titans. The mountains are not mountains. They are the bodies of the Jotnar, the giants frozen in their final moments, an entire civilization, now a part of the landscape itself. You can see a vast ribcage forming a valley below, a colossal spine creating a jagged ridgeline that disappears into the horizon. The air is thin and sharp. When you breathe in, it feels like inhaling powdered glass, so cold it almost burns. There is no scent of life here. No pine, no soil, no water. Just the clean, sterile smell of ancient stone and deep, enduring ice. You feel a snowflake, impossibly delicate, land on your cheek. It doesn't melt. It simply rests there, a tiny, perfect crystal. You begin to walk, your footsteps making no sound on the frozen ground. You are walking across the shoulder of a fallen giant. The scale is bewildering. A single button on its tunic, a disc of carved stone half buried in the snow, is wider than a house. You feel like a tiny insect crawling on a forgotten statue in a long abandoned garden. This was not a place of mindless brutes. As you look closer, you see the artistry. The frozen mountains of their bodies are adorned with intricate carvings. The very cliffs are etched with prophecies, with stories told in runes so large you can only comprehend one at a time. They are not just words, but beautiful flowing patterns that speak of a deep connection to the magic of creation itself. They were not just warriors, they were seers, artists, architects of reality. You can feel it in the quiet dignity of this place. Their war with the Aesir was not a simple brawl. It was a clash of philosophies. Odin's relentless pursuit of knowledge and control against the giant's deep, intuitive understanding of fate and destiny. Odin wanted to read the prophecy. The giants believed in living it. He wanted to control destiny. They understood that destiny was a river, and you could only guide your boat, not command the current. And for that understanding, they were all but erased. Their memory buried under ice and time. You find yourself drawn to a cave entrance, which is in truth the space between the thumb and forefinger of another great stone hand. Inside, the walls are not rock, but ice. A deep, blue, ancient ice that seems to absorb the light. And within the ice, you can see things. Frozen moments. A giant mother smiling at her child. Two giants locked in a game of chess with boulders for pieces. A scholar carving a prophecy onto a tablet the size of a lake. This is the giant's legacy. Not one of conquest, but of quiet moments, preserved forever. You reach out and touch the surface of the ice. It is smooth as polished glass, and so cold it feels warm for a moment, a strange trick of the nerves. You can feel a faint, slow vibration coming from deep within, the last lingering echo of their life force, their magic. This is the home of Faye, Kratos' wife, Atreus' mother. It was here she lived, the last guardian of her people's memory. You can almost feel her presence, a quiet strength, a fierce intelligence, a deep well of love that could defy gods and fate. She walked these silent valleys. She read these towering runes. She understood the secrets this realm holds. She chose to leave this place of grand, silent history and find a life in the green, breathing world of Midgard. She chose a small life, a hidden life, but she never forgot who she was or where she came from. She carried the weight of all this history, all this loss within her, and transformed it not into bitterness, but into a powerful, protective love for her family. You look up at the sky again. The stars seem to have shifted, moved closer. You realize you are not just seeing stars. You are seeing other realms, their light filtering through the thin veil of reality. A burning ember that must be Muspelheim. A soft green glow you imagine is Vanaheim. A distant, arrogant gold that can only be Asgard. From here, you can see how it all connects. How the fate of this one dead realm is tied to the fate of all the others. Jotunheim is not just a graveyard. It is a library of prophecy. The final chapter is written on the highest peak, a story waiting for a father and son to arrive. A story of what is and what is to come. The silence here is not empty. It is full of stories, full of memory. It is a place of profound peace, the kind of peace that can only come after the greatest of storms has passed. You take one last breath of the crisp, cold air, letting the stillness of the giants settle into your own bones. You feel grounded, calm. The world shifts again. The cold blue light of Jotunheim fades, replaced by a soft, verdant green. The sharp, cold air softens, becoming warm and humid, thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming flowers you have no names for. You are in Vanaheim, the realm of the Vanir gods, Freya's home, and it feels alive in a way that is almost overwhelming. The air itself seems to hum with a different kind of magic. Not the intellectual, rune-based magic of the Aesir, or the prophetic creation magic of the giants. This is wild magic. Unpredictable, untamed, and deeply, profoundly natural. You are standing in a forest, but the trees are unlike any you know. They have silver bark that glows with a faint internal light, and their leaves are 100 shades of impossible green. Great luminous fungi grow in spirals up their trunks, pulsing with gentle light like slow-beating hearts. The ground beneath your feet is not soil, but a thick, soft carpet of moss that seems to breathe with you. Every sound is magnified. You can hear the trickle of water from a nearby stream, but it sounds like music, each droplet a perfectly tuned note. You can hear the whisper of the wind through the leaves, but it sounds like voices, sharing secrets older than language. You can hear the buzzing of insects, their wings beating in complex hypnotic rhythms. This is a realm that was never truly conquered by the Aesir. Odin fought a war with the Vanir, and while he may have won a political victory, forcing a truce and taking Freya as a wife, he never tamed this land. You can feel its resistance in the way the vines curl and twist, in the way the shadows seem to watch you, in the intelligent gleam of a predator's eyes from deep within the foliage. You see a clearing ahead. In its center is a pool of water, perfectly still and dark. The water does not reflect the sky above. Instead, it shows images, glimpses of other places, other times. A wolf running through a snowy forest, a dwarf hammering at a forge, a man and a boy in a small boat. It is a pool of scrying, a natural window into the tapestry of fate. The magic here is not carved or commanded. It simply is. This was Freya's world. This is what she lost. She was not just a queen or a goddess of fertility. She was the master of this wild magic. She could speak the language of the trees, command the rivers to change their course, and weave spells of protection and life that were the envy of Odin himself. Her power was rooted in this very soil. When Odin brought her to Asgard, he tried to sever that connection. And when she left him, he cursed her, binding her to Midgard, forbidding her from ever returning here, to the source of her strength. You can feel the sadness of that curse lingering in the air, a faint, sorrowful echo. The land itself misses its queen. The trees seem to droop. The streams seem to sing a more mournful tune. It is a beautiful place, but it is a wounded one. You can see the scars of the Aesir-Vanir War, not as craters or ruins, but as places where the magic feels wrong. Patches of forest where the trees grow in unnatural geometric patterns. A river that flows uphill. A silence that feels imposed, not natural. These are the marks of Odin's brand of magic. A magic of order and control, forced upon a world that thrives on chaos and freedom. It makes you think about the nature of power. Odin believes power is something to be taken, to be hoarded, to be used to bend the world to your will. The Vanir, you feel. Believe power is something to be borrowed, to be channeled, to be a part of. A dance, not a dictatorship. It is the difference between building a dam and guiding a river. Both can be effective, but one works with the world, and the other fights against it. Freya carries this philosophy with her, even in exile. Her magic in Midgard is one of healing, of protection, of life. She helps Kratos and Atreus not by forging them weapons, but by mending their wounds, by guiding them through the wilderness, by understanding the connections between all things. She is a part of the world, not its master. You walk deeper into the glowing forest. The path is unclear, constantly shifting as the plants themselves seem to move and rearrange. You are not in control here. You are a guest, and you must trust the forest to guide you. It is a lesson in letting go, a lesson in trusting something older and wiser than yourself. The air grows thicker, sweeter. You are approaching the heart of the realm. You see a flower, its petals slowly unfurling. As they open, they release a cloud of glowing pollen that hangs in the air like a miniature galaxy. You watch mesmerized as the pollen drifts on the breeze. Each tiny spark a seed of potential, a promise of new life. Vanaheim is a reminder that even after great conflict, life endures. It adapts. It heals. The scars of war are still here, but they are being slowly, patiently reclaimed by moss and vine. The untamed magic of this place is a force of nature, and like nature itself, it is relentless. It will outlast any king, any wall, any curse. It simply waits, patient and eternal. The soft green light dissolves. The humid air cools and thins. The scent of life is replaced by something else. A sterile, charged smell, like the air after a lightning strike. The world that forms around you now is one of stark, impossible geometry and a cold, oppressive perfection. You are not inside Asgard. No. You are looking at it from a vantage point in the void. You are standing on a floating rock, adrift in the cosmic sea, and before you hangs the realm of the Aesir. It is not the warm, inviting city of myth. It is a fortress, a weapon, a statement. Asgard is a disk of golden rock and gleaming architecture, surrounded by a colossal, shimmering wall. The wall is not just a physical barrier. You can feel the power radiating from it. It is a wall of pure magic, a shield against prophecy, a cage designed to keep the future out and to keep its secrets in. It pulses with a steady, arrogant golden light that seems to push back the natural darkness of the void. There are no forests here, no untamed rivers. Everything is ordered, manicured. The buildings are magnificent, with towering spires that seem to scratch at the fabric of space. But there is a coldness to them, a sterile beauty. It is the perfection of a diagram, not a painting. It is a city built by a mind obsessed with control. This is Odin's realm, and it is a perfect reflection of him. Every street, every tower, every wall is a testament to his paranoia. his insatiable hunger for knowledge, and his belief that the universe is a problem to be solved, a machine to be understood and then mastered. He is the All-Father, not in a loving paternal sense, but in the sense of an all-seeing, all-knowing patriarch who trusts no one, not even his own family. You can feel his gaze even from here. It is not a direct look, but a pervasive sense of being watched. You know that ravens, his eyes and ears, sit on every rooftop. You know that the very walls are laced with spells of scrying and surveillance. Nothing happens in the 9 realms that Odin does not eventually know about. His pursuit of knowledge is not for enlightenment, it is for advantage. He seeks to understand Ragnarok not to prevent the suffering it will cause, but to survive it, to win. He sees the future as an opponent in a grand cosmic game, and he is determined to have the winning strategy. This is why he feared the giants. They did not see the future as a puzzle to be solved. They saw it as a song to be heard. Their prophecies were not battle plans. They were warnings, laments, stories. This difference in perspective was so profound, so threatening to Odin's worldview, that he could not tolerate their existence. He could not control them, so he sought to destroy them. This is why he coveted Freya's magic. The wild, untamable magic of Vanaheim was a variable he could not account for. He tried to possess it by marrying her, to learn its secrets, to catalog it, to put it in a box. But some things refused to be caged. And when he failed, he punished her, exiled her, tried to erase her power. But all he did was create a powerful, patient enemy. You can see the Bifrost, the rainbow bridge, extending from the edge of Asgard. But from this perspective, it doesn't look like a bridge of hope and connection. It looks like a weapon, a deployment ramp, a way for Asgard to project its power, to send its armies, to interfere in the affairs of the other, lesser realms. It is a bridge that primarily carries traffic one way out. The golden light of the city seems to hum with a low, constant thrum of power. It is not the gentle, organic heartbeat of Yggdrasil. It is the hum of a machine, a vast, complex engine of magic and will, constantly running, constantly monitoring, constantly planning. It must be exhausting to live there, under that constant pressure, that constant scrutiny. A gilded cage is still a cage. You think of Thor and Balder, gods raised in this environment. One, a blunt instrument of his father's will, a force of destruction sent to solve problems with a hammer. The other, cursed with a magical perfection that robs him of all feeling. A tragic figure driven mad by the very protection meant to save him. Both are victims of their father's obsession, twisted into shapes that serve his purpose, not their own. Asgard, from this quiet distance, is a lonely place. It is isolated by its own power, cut off from the natural flow of the cosmos by its own walls. It is a testament to the idea that you can know everything about the universe and still understand nothing of its heart. It is a monument to fear, the fear of an old god, terrified of his own ending. The golden light retracts, as if a curtain is drawn. The hum of power fades and is replaced by a deep guttural roar that seems to come from the very beginning of time. The air around you becomes thick with heat, shimmering and distorting your view. The smell of sulfur and hot metal fills your senses. You are now in Muspelheim, the primordial realm of fire. It is a landscape of pure chaos. Jagged peaks of black volcanic rock jut out from rivers of molten lava. The sky is a permanent, violent sunset of orange and red, choked with black smoke and falling ash. There is no day or night here. There is only the eternal flickering glow of the fire. The heat is a physical presence. It presses on you from all sides, a dry, oppressive warmth that seems to bake the very air you breathe. You can feel it on your skin, in your lungs. It is the heat of a planet's core brought to the surface. Ash, light as black snow, drifts down and settles on you, a fine, gritty powder. The sounds here are elemental. The constant, deep rumble of the lava flows, the sharp crack and groan of rock as it heats and cools, the hiss of gas escaping from volcanic vents, and beneath it all, a sound like a colossal forge, a rhythmic, metallic clang that echoes from the heart of the realm. This place is not evil. It is simply primal. It is one of the two foundation stones of the cosmos, along with the ice of Niflheim. It is the fire of creation, the spark that first gave life to the universe when it met the ice in the void of Ginnungagap. It is pure, raw, untempered energy. You can see creatures moving in the distance, beings of fire and magma, their bodies constantly shifting, dripping, and reforming. They are not born, and they do not die in the way you understand. They are simply expressions of the realm itself, manifestations of its fiery will. And you can feel him. In the center of it all, Surtra, the fire giant. He is not a king sitting on a throne. He is a part of the landscape, patient as a volcano. You can feel his presence as a concentration of heat, a locus of immense ancient power, waiting. He has one purpose, one destiny, to be the fire that ends the world. He is the other side of the coin to Odin. Odin fights desperately against fate, trying to outwit it at every turn. Surtra has accepted his fate completely. He is Ragnarok. He does not rush towards his destiny, nor does he flee from it. He simply waits for his time to come. There is a strange peace in that acceptance, a clarity of purpose that the scheming god of Asgard can never know. When the time comes, he will rise, his flaming sword bright enough to outshine the sun, and he will march on Asgard. He will be the fire that purifies, the end that allows for a new beginning. He is not an agent of destruction for its own sake. He is a necessary part of the cycle, the forest fire that clears the way for new growth. Kratos and Atreus travel here, to this impossible, hostile place, to temper the blades of chaos, to dip those instruments of a bloody past into the primordial flames of their origin. It is a symbolic act, acknowledging their history, but reforging their purpose, using the fire not just to destroy, but to strengthen, to prepare. Muspelheim is a place of raw power, but it is not a place of rage. It is too old for that. Its fire is not the hot, quick anger of a mortal. It is the slow, patient, inexorable burn of a star. It is a reminder that some forces are beyond control, beyond schemes, beyond walls. Some forces just are, and you must either respect them or be consumed by them. A cold tendril of mist snakes around your ankle. The oppressive heat vanishes in an instant, replaced by a deep, biting cold that seeps into your bones. The red glow is swallowed by a thick, gray fog. The roar of fire is replaced by a deathly, muffled silence. You have moved from one extreme to the other. You are in Niflheim, the primordial realm of ice and mist. If Muspelheim was a furnace, this is a freezer. The air is thick with a clinging wet fog that limits your vision to only a few feet in any direction. The ground beneath you is indistinct, Sometimes solid ice, sometimes deep snow, sometimes treacherous, unseen rock. There is no sky here, no sun, no stars, just the endless, swirling gray mist. It moves with a strange intelligence, sometimes parting to reveal a glimpse of a twisted frozen tree or a jagged spire of black ice, before closing in again, disorienting you, turning you around. The cold is a constant gnawing presence. You can see your own breath plume in front of you, a white cloud that is instantly swallowed by the fog. This is not the clean, silent cold of Jotunheim. This is a damp, heavy cold, a cold that feels ancient and unwell. And it is not silent. If you listen closely, past the whisper of the mist itself, you can hear voices, faint, fragmented whispers, echoes of the dead. The dishonored souls who did not go to Valhalla are trapped here. Their last words, their regrets, their curses, carried on the wind for eternity. This realm is a trap, a maze, a punishment. Odin has corrupted this primordial place, weaving his magic into the very mist, turning it into a cursed fog that drains the life and will of any who linger too long. It is a prison with no walls, a cyclical torment from which there is no easy escape. You feel a sense of hopelessness creeping into you, a weariness that has nothing to do with physical exertion. It is the magic of the place, seeping into your spirit. It is a perfect reflection of another facet of Odin's cruelty. He does not just kill his enemies, he finds ways to make their ends and their afterlives a source of power or a lesson for others. Niflheim is a warning, a threat, a dumping ground for those who fail to meet his standards of a glorious death. Yet even here, there is a purpose for the traveler. There are treasures hidden in the mist, resources of immense power for those brave enough or foolish enough to seek them. It is a place of high risk and high reward, drawing in adventurers and scavengers. A grim economy built on the echoes of the dead. This endless cycle of searching through the fog, of fighting the same spectral enemies, of slowly succumbing to the curse only to start again, is a powerful metaphor. It speaks to the nature of a grudge, of being trapped in the past. To walk in Niflheim is to be lost in your own regrets, endlessly replaying your failures, the whispers of the dead mingling with the whispers of your own inner critic. To survive here, you need a clear purpose. A goal to hold on to that is stronger than the encroaching despair. For Kratos, it is the drive to find what he needs to protect his son. That singular focus acts as a beacon, a lighthouse in the fog, allowing him to navigate the maze without losing himself to it. Niflheim is the cold at the heart of all things, the entropy, the slow decay. It is the ice that met the fire at the beginning of everything. A reminder that for every act of creation, there is an equal force of dissolution. It is a quiet, somber place, a place for contemplation on endings, on memory, and on the strength it takes to keep moving forward when you are lost in the fog. The mist thins, the biting cold recedes, the whispers fade. You find yourself once more in that quiet twilight space between the realms, standing again in the gentle cosmic currents that flow around the great, luminous branches of Yggdrasil. You have journeyed to the homes of giants and gods. You have felt the silent majesty of a dead civilization and the wild, untamed life of a magical forest. You have witnessed the cold ambition of a fortress realm and felt the primal heat and chilling fog of creation's birthplaces. Each realm is a world unto itself, with its own rules, its own nature, its own story. And yet, you have seen how they are all connected. Not just by the branches of this great tree, but by the threads of prophecy, by the consequences of war, by the choices of gods and mortals that ripple from one world to the next. Odin's paranoia in Asgard causes the corruption of Niflheim's mist. The genocide of the giants in Jotunheim leads a mother to hide her son in Midgard. The untamed magic of Vanaheim becomes a source of hope and healing in a world darkened by conflict. Everything is intertwined. The great tree hums around you, that deep, slow vibration. It is the rhythm of this interconnectedness, the heartbeat of a cosmos that is far more complex, more beautiful, and more mysterious than any one god could ever hope to fully understand or control. It is a comforting thought to know that you are part of something so vast, a single thread in an infinite tapestry. Your own journey, your own struggles and triumphs are woven into this grand design. You are connected to the fire of Muspelheim and the ice of Niflheim. You are connected to the memory of the giants and the wild life of Vanaheim. And now, it is time for your own journey to find its quiet end for the night. Let the gentle thrumming of the world tree guide you. Let the soft light of its branches illuminate your path into slumber. There is nothing left to do, nowhere left to go. Simply allow yourself to drift on these cosmic currents, safe in the knowledge that you are a part of it all. Just rest now. Rest. The air here, at the very edge of existence, is different. It does not feel like the crisp cold of Niflheim or the warm, fragrant air of Vanaheim. It feels like nothing at all. A perfect, silent vacuum of sensation where the only thing you can perceive is the slow, rhythmic thrumming that seems to come from within your own bones. This is the echo of what was lost, a phantom limb of the cosmos. You feel a sense of profound stillness, not emptiness, but a deep and abiding quiet, as if you are standing inside a vast library after everyone has gone home for the century. The stories are all still here, sleeping on their shelves. The knowledge they contain has not vanished. It is simply waiting for a reader to turn a page that has long since turned to dust. The lost realms are not gone. They are just unread. Perhaps this is the true nature of Yggdrasil's protection. It doesn't just connect the realms that are, it also holds the memory of the realms that were. It is a living chronicle, its sap carrying the tales of forgotten sons and vanished peoples. The giants were not the only ones to understand this. Other pantheons, other worlds, they too may have found their way to this great cosmic axis. Their stories might be encoded in the grain of the wood, in the rustle of a phantom leaf. You can almost picture Kratos here. He would not see history or secrets. He would feel the deep, aching resonance of loss. He is a man who has unmade a world, who has torn a pantheon from its foundations. He would recognize the shape of this silence. It is the quiet that follows a great and terrible ending. For him, this place would not be a mystery to solve. It would be a memorial to a pain he understands all too well. A quiet place to simply be. Atreus, on the other hand, would feel the pull of the story. His fingers would trace the invisible lines in the air, trying to read the language of absence. He would see not just an ending, but the space where a new beginning could be written. Every lost word is a puzzle, every forgotten name a quest. This place of endings would be, to him, a place of infinite possibility, a map with blank spaces, begging to be filled. And so, you stand between these two perspectives, the weight of the past and the promise of the future. The silence here is not empty. It is full of unheard conversations, unsung songs, unfulfilled prophecies. It is a reminder that the 9 realms are just one verse in a much grander epic, an epic that spans ages and worlds beyond mortal comprehension. The thrumming continues, that slow, steady heartbeat of the world tree. It is a comforting rhythm, a deep bass note that underpins all of creation. It tells you that even when a realm is shattered, even when its people are gone and its name is forgotten, the tree remembers. The energy that once gave it life has simply returned to the whole, recycled into the grand cosmic dance. Nothing is ever truly lost. It just changes its form. You feel the floor beneath your feet, which is not truly a floor at all. It is more like a concentration of memory, a place where the past has become so dense it is now solid. You take a slow, deep breath, and the air does not fill your lungs in the usual way. Instead, it feels as if you are breathing in pure potential, the scent of ozone and ancient starlight, the feeling of a story coming to a gentle and peaceful close. This is the final lesson of the Lost Realms, that existence is not just about the noise and the fury, the battles and the triumphs. It is also about the quiet spaces in between, the long, slow decay, and the gentle, silent rebirth. It is a cycle, endless and serene. The heartbeat of Yggdrasil is the rhythm of that cycle, a gentle reminder that all things have their time, and that there is a deep and profound peace to be found in letting go, in allowing the story to end, and in the quiet that follows, finding not an absence, but a new kind of presence, a stillness that holds everything. Your journey through the realms has been long, filled with sound and fury, with the clash of steel and the roar of beasts. But now it is time for quiet, for stillness. Let the echoes of those grand adventures fade. Allow them to become soft memories, distant and muted like thunder behind far-off mountains. Find a comfortable place. Let your body settle. Let your breathing slow. We are going somewhere different now. Not to a realm of fire or ice. Not to a city of light or a land of the dead. We are going home. Picture a small cabin, tucked away in a corner of Midgard, so quiet the world seems to have forgotten it exists. It is nestled within a deep, ancient forest. The trees stand like silent guardians, their branches heavy with snow. The air is cold, crisp and clean. You can feel it on your cheeks, a gentle cold that speaks of peace, not of hardship. This is the home Kratos built with Faye, a sanctuary, a promise. And it is here, in the profound quiet of this place, that our final story unfolds. It is a story not of war, but of the peace that comes after. Or perhaps the peace that was always there, waiting to be found. You are standing just inside the doorway. Looking out, the snow falls in thick, lazy flakes, each one a perfect little star, drifting down to join a blanket of pure white. There is no wind, just the gentle, almost imperceptible whisper of the snowfall, a sound that is the very definition of silence. The world outside is painted in shades of white and gray, and the deep green of the pines. It is beautiful, austere, simple, a perfect canvas for a quiet life. Now turn, step back inside, and let the heavy wooden door swing shut. The sound is a satisfying thud, solid, final. It shuts the world out, the cold, the past, everything. You are safe in here. Warm. The air inside smells of wood smoke and pine and something else. Something faint and floral. The lingering scent of dried herbs, perhaps. Or the memory of a woman who loved this place. Who made it a home. This is the legacy of Faye. Not a crown or a kingdom, but this small wooden box filled with warmth against the cold. A shelter from the endless winter. Her presence is woven into the very fabric of the building. You can feel it. A gentle, steadfast spirit. Look at the walls. The timbers are thick, hewn by hand. You can see the marks of the axe, the love and labor that went into every cut. Kratos' hands made this place. Strong hands used to destruction, here turned to creation, to protection. Run your fingers over the wood. It is rough in places, smooth in others, worn by time and touch. And everywhere you look, there are her marks, faint runes, carved with a delicate, knowing hand. They are not words of war. They are symbols of protection, of peace, of love. They glow with a soft, barely visible light, pulsing like a slow heartbeat in the dimness of the cabin. This is Faye's echo, the magic she left behind. It is a quiet magic, a gentle strength that holds this place together, that keeps the monsters of the forest at bay, not through violence but through a deep understanding of the world, a harmony. The heart of the home is the fire. It burns in a stone hearth wide and deep. The flames are a soft orange and yellow. They dance and sway, casting flickering shadows that make the small room feel alive. The warmth pushes back the chill that seeps in through the walls. It is a living thing, this fire. It needs to be fed, to be tended, a constant, comforting presence. Imagine pulling a simple wooden stool closer to the hearth. You sit, holding your hands out to the heat. The warmth soaks into your skin, chasing away the memory of the snow outside. It uncurls the tightness in your shoulders. It lets you breathe more deeply. This is the rhythm of life here. The simple, repetitive tasks that ground you in the present moment. Chopping wood for the fire, drawing water from the well, mending a worn piece of leather. Each action is a meditation, a small act of defiance against the chaos of the world. Think of Kratos, performing these same tasks, day after day, for years. This god of war, this destroyer of pantheons, finding a strange kind of purpose in the mundane, finding a quiet he never knew he was searching for. Each log he split was a memory of violence being reshaped into a promise of warmth. Each bucket of water, a cleansing of the blood from his hands. This cabin is more than wood and stone. It is a crucible, a place where a man was remade, forged anew not in the fires of battle, but in the gentle, constant heat of a family hearth. Now let your gaze drift around the room again. Notice the smaller details, the things that speak of a life lived here, a family. On a small wooden table, there are 2 bowls, carved from the same dark wood. They are empty now, but you can imagine them filled with a simple stew, steam rising into the cool air. Beside them, 2 spoons, one slightly larger than the other, worn smooth with use. There are furs thrown over the sleeping platforms, bear and wolf pelts, thick and heavy, a promise of deep, dreamless sleep. You can almost feel the weight of them, the soft texture of the fur against your skin. They smell faintly of the wild, but also of the wood smoke that permeates everything in this cabin. On a small shelf, there are other objects. A whetstone for sharpening an axe, a collection of unusually shaped rocks and bird feathers, a boy's treasures, and a small leather-bound book. Its cover is bare, no title, no markings. It is filled with stories, with drawings, with a child's careful script, learning the shapes of runes. This is Atreus's journal, a testament to his mother's teachings, to her patience. You can picture them here by the firelight, her finger guiding his hand as he forms the ancient symbols, her voice soft as she tells him the old stories. Stories of gods and giants, of courage and sacrifice. She was preparing him for the world, for the journey he would have to take, for the truth of who he was. But she did it with love, with stories, not with drills and combat training. That was his father's way. Hers was the way of knowledge, of understanding. Her influence is in every corner of this room. It is in the way the furs are folded, in the neat stack of firewood, in the quiet order of this small space. She created a world here, a tiny island of peace in a sea of chaos, and she protected it fiercely. Not with a blade, but with her wisdom and her will. Consider the love it must have taken. For a giantess, a guardian of her people's secrets, to fall in love with a stranger from another land. A man with a past so dark it was like a physical shadow. A man who did not know how to be gentle, who did not know how to love. She must have seen something in him, beneath the rage, beneath the scars, a flicker of the man he could be, a capacity for goodness that he himself had forgotten, and she nurtured it. Here, in the quiet of this forest, she taught him how to be a husband, a father, a man, not by telling him, but by showing him, by living a life of peace beside him. The light from the fire is beginning to fade. The logs have burned down to glowing embers. The shadows in the room grow longer, deeper. The cabin feels smaller now, more intimate. The silence is profound, broken only by the soft sigh of the embers as they cool. It is in this deep quiet that you can best feel her memory. Laufey the Just, Faye, a giant in hiding, a warrior in her own right, a mother, a wife. Her story is one of incredible strength, a strength that did not need to be shouted. It was a quiet, enduring force, like a great mountain that withstands the wind and the snow season after season. She knew the prophecies. She knew what was coming. The role her son was destined to play. The return of the Norse gods' cruelty. The twilight of their age. She knew the pain and the loss that lay ahead. And yet, she chose to build this life. This small, perfect moment of peace. She chose to love, to raise a child, to create a home. Perhaps she knew that these moments of quiet happiness were the only true defense against the darkness. That they were the things worth fighting for. The things that give a warrior's life meaning. You can imagine her final wish. To have her ashes scattered from the highest peak in all the realms. It seemed like a simple request. A sentimental farewell. But it was so much more. It was a map. A key. The first step on a journey she knew they had to take. A journey that would force a father and son to truly know one another. to forge a bond that could withstand the coming storm. Even in death, she was guiding them, protecting them. Her love was a compass, pointing them towards their destiny. It was the most profound act of a mother's love, to set her family on a path of hardship, knowing it was the only way to save them. The cabin is almost dark now. The embers in the hearth are a deep, pulsing red. They cast just enough light to see the shapes of the room. The sleeping platforms, the table, the door. It is a place of ghosts now, but they are gentle ghosts. Memories that bring comfort, not sorrow. Let's leave the cabin for a while. Let's step back outside. The snow has stopped falling. The world is utterly still. The moon has risen. It is a perfect silver disk in a sky of deep indigo. The stars are scattered across the heavens like diamond dust. So many stars, cold and distant. The moonlight illuminates the snow, making it sparkle and shimmer. It turns the forest into a place of magic. The shadows of the trees are long and sharp, like ink spilled on white paper. The air is so cold it feels sharp in your lungs, a clean, purifying cold. You walk a little way from the cabin. Your boots make a soft, crunching sound in the deep snow. It is the only sound in the whole world. That and the slow, steady beat of your own heart. You are in the heart of the wildwoods. This was their larder, their training ground, their entire world for so many years. To you, it is a place of profound beauty and peace. But to a child growing up here, it was also a place of lessons, of survival. Think of Atreus as a small boy, following his father through these same woods. Learning the ways of the hunt, Kratos taught him how to track, how to move silently through the undergrowth, how to draw a bowstring with a steady hand. But these were not just lessons in survival. They were lessons in control, in discipline, in patience. Kratos was not just teaching his son how to be a hunter. He was trying to teach him how to control the rage that he knew simmered in their bloodline, the curse of their divine heritage. You can picture them. Kratos, a silent, imposing figure, moving through the trees with an unnatural grace. Atreus, small and eager, trying to mimic his father's every move, his breath misting in the cold air, his eyes wide with concentration. Imagine a single moment from one of those hunts. They are tracking a deer. The tracks are fresh in the snow. Kratos holds up a hand, a silent command. Stop. Listen. And you both stop. You stand perfectly still. The silence of the forest descends again. But now, you are listening to it. You are a part of it. You can hear the faint rustle of a pine branch as it sheds its load of snow, the distant call of an owl, the gentle creak of a tree trunk in the cold. Your senses feel heightened, sharpened. The world seems more vibrant, more alive. You are not just an observer anymore. You are a participant in the life of the forest. This is what Kratos was teaching his son, not just to look, but to see. Not just to hear, but to listen. Then through the trees, you see it, the deer. It is a magnificent creature. Its antlers like the branches of a winter tree. It is unaware of you. It lowers its head to scrape at the snow, searching for moss beneath. Atreus raises his bow. his small hands trembling slightly with excitement. With the cold, Kratos places a steadying hand on his shoulder, a rare moment of physical contact. A silent message: be calm, be patient. Control yourself. The boy takes a breath, holds it, and for a long moment, everything is frozen. The boy, the father, the deer, the forest, a perfect tableau in the moonlight. This is the peace that Kratos found. Not the absence of struggle, but the focus of it. The channeling of all his strength, all his discipline, into a single, purposeful act. Not of rage, but of necessity, of providing for his family. These woods hold so many of these quiet moments. They are soaked into the earth. Written on the bark of the trees, the memory of a father learning to connect with his son, two very different people, finding a common language in the silence of the hunt. Kratos' words were few, often harsh. He did not know how to offer praise or comfort, but his actions spoke for him. The hand on the shoulder, the slight nod of approval, the patient correction of a misplaced foot. These were his words of love, the only ones he knew how to speak. And Atreus, in his own way, learned to understand this language. He learned to read the silence of his father, to see the care beneath the stern exterior. Their bond was not forged in easy conversation, but in shared hardship, in the mutual respect of two survivors. As you stand here, in the moonlit forest, you feel the weight of that bond. It is as real and as solid as the ancient trees around you. It is a quiet, powerful thing, a testament to the idea that family is not just about blood. It is about shared experience, about showing up for each other, day after day, even when it is difficult, especially when it is difficult. The moon is higher now. It casts long, distorted shadows that play tricks on the eye. It is easy to imagine the creatures that live in these woods, the draugr that rise from the frozen earth, the wolves that howl at the moon, the trolls that slumber beneath the hills. For Kratos and Atreus, these were not just stories. They were a constant threat, a danger that lurked just beyond the protective circle of their cabin. Every journey for wood or water was a risk. Every hunt could be their last. This is the other side of the peace they found here. It was a peace that had to be defended. It was not a given. It was earned. Every single day. It makes their quiet life all the more precious. A small, warm flame cupped in careful hands against a biting wind. They were not just living in the wild. They were a part of it. They understood its rhythms, its dangers, its beauty. They respected it. And in return, the wild gave them a home, a place to heal, a place to become who they were meant to be. Let's walk back towards the cabin. The warm yellow light from its single window is a welcoming beacon in the darkness. It looks so small, so fragile against the immense backdrop of the forest and the mountains. Yet it is the strongest place in the world, because it is a home. As you approach, you see two figures standing by the door. It is Kratos and a much younger Atreus. A memory, a ghost of a time before their great journey. They are not speaking. They are simply standing together, looking up at the stars, just as you were. Atreus points to a constellation. He says something, a question. Kratos looks, and for a moment, he says nothing. Then, In his low, rumbling voice, he gives an answer. He tells the boy the name of the stars. He tells him the story behind them. A story from his homeland. A place so far away it might as well be a dream. It is a small moment, easily missed. But it is everything. It is a bridge between two worlds. A father sharing a piece of his broken past with his son. A son looking to the future written in the stars. It is a moment of pure, unblemished connection. Faye taught Atreus the stories of the Norse, the tales of his mother's people. But Kratos, in these rare, quiet moments, gave him something else. A glimpse of another world, another self, a history the boy would one day have to reckon with. You watch the memory fade, the father and son dissolve back into the moonlight, and you are alone again, in front of the small cabin. The light in the window is just the glow of the embers now, a soft, red pulse in the heart of the home. This is the truth of their life before the journey. It was not an idyll. It was not without hardship or sorrow, but it was real. It was meaningful. It was a time of quiet growth, like a seed sleeping under the winter snow, gathering strength for the spring that is to come. Now let us consider the legacy of this place, this quiet corner of the world. Even after they left on their journey, even after the world changed and the gods fell, the cabin remained a silent witness. It is a symbol of what Kratos was fighting for. Not vengeance, not power, but for this, the right to a quiet life, the right to protect his son, the right to have a home, a place where he was not the ghost of Sparta, but simply a father. The greatest battles are not always fought with axes and blades. Sometimes the greatest battle is the one fought within your own heart. The battle against your own past, against your own nature, to choose peace when you have only ever known war, to choose love when you have only ever known loss. This was Kratos' true war, and this cabin was his battlefield. And here, for a time, he won. He found a measure of peace. He learned to be a father. He built a life that mattered. All thanks to the woman who saw the man he could be, who had the strength and the patience to guide him there. Faye's echo is not just in the runes on the wall, it is in the very man Kratos became. It is in the heart of the son she raised. Her love was the seed from which a new future could grow. Think about the objects within that house, each one a story. The toy soldiers Kratos carved for his son, a father trying to explain his past through the only medium he knew. The clumsy carvings of a god trying to be a craftsman, a creator. Each little wooden figure a prayer that his son would never have to be a real soldier. Imagine the texture of that carved wood, still rough, unsanded. The splinters a testament to the unfamiliarity of the task. Yet the shapes are clear. A man with a spear, a man with a shield, a father's attempt to connect, to confess, to warn. And Faye's things. The garden she must have kept in the short summer months. Patches of hardy herbs and vegetables wrested from the thin, rocky soil. Her hands, which could mark the giant's prophecies, were gentle enough to coax life from the frozen earth. The scent of those herbs, dried and hanging from the rafters, would be a constant, comforting presence in the long winters. Rosemary for remembrance, thyme for courage. Her foresight was immense. She painted the future on hidden shrines, but her truest prophecy was her faith in Kratos. She didn't just know what would happen, She created the conditions for a better outcome. She knew Kratos would need a reason to be better, and she gave him one. She gave him Atreus. She gave him a home. She also gave him a purpose beyond himself. The journey to the highest peak. A simple quest that was anything but. It was a therapeutic journey, designed by a loving wife who knew her husband better than he knew himself. She knew he could not heal by sitting still. He had to move. He had to have a mission. But this time, the mission was not one of revenge. It was one of love, of remembrance, an act of service to honor her memory. Every step of that journey was a lesson. Every monster they fought was a test of Kratos' newfound control. Every puzzle they solved was a test of their ability to work together. Faye did not just give them a destination, she gave them a curriculum. A school of the wild, designed to turn a broken god and a curious boy into a true family. The cabin was the classroom where the first lessons were taught. The journey was the final exam, and the prize was not treasure or glory. It was understanding. It was acceptance. It was the bond that would see them through the coming Ragnarok. Think of the quiet evenings after a long hunt. After the deer has been dressed, the meat stored, the fire is burning brightly. Kratos sits on his stool, cleaning the Leviathan axe. The rhythmic scrape of whetstone on metal is a comforting, familiar sound. Atreus is on the floor, sketching in his journal by the firelight. No words are exchanged for a long time. They do not need them. There is a comfortable silence between them. The silence of two people who know and trust each other completely, who have found their place in the world and their place with each other. This is the true treasure of the 9 realms, not Odin's knowledge or Asgard's gold, but this quiet moment of connection, this fragile peace, built by 2 broken people in a harsh and unforgiving world. And as the fire dies down, as the shadows lengthen, a deep and profound sense of calm settles over you. The story is not in the grand battles. It is here, in the silence between heartbeats, in the warmth of a fire on a cold winter's night, in the unspoken love between a father and a son. The story is about how even the most haunted soul can find a measure of peace. How a home is not just a place but a feeling of safety, of belonging, of love. Faye's echo is a reminder that the most powerful magic in all the realms is not the kind that splits mountains or summons lightning. It is the quiet, persistent magic of hope, the belief that even after the longest winter, spring will eventually come. The embers in the hearth have finally cooled. They are just gray ash now. The cabin is dark and silent. The moon has moved across the sky, and the stars have wheeled in their ancient dance. A new day is not far off. Our time in this quiet place is coming to an end, but the feeling of it will remain with you. The cold, clean air, the scent of pine and wood smoke, the deep, comforting silence of the snow-covered forest, the warmth of the fire, the quiet strength of a home built with love. These are the things that endure, long after the gods have fallen and their stories have turned to myth. The simple, timeless truths of a life well lived. Let the peace of the wildwoods settle into your bones. Let it quiet your mind. There are no more battles to fight tonight, no more journeys to take. There is only rest, deep, peaceful, and restorative. The snow may fall outside your own window now, or perhaps it is the gentle patter of rain. Whatever the world is doing outside, you are safe, you are warm, you are at peace. Like Kratos and his boy, sheltered in their small cabin against the vast and indifferent wilderness. Close your eyes now, if you have not already. Feel the weight of the day lift from your shoulders. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to think about. Simply be here, in this moment of stillness. And as you drift deeper into sleep, perhaps you will hear it. A faint, gentle sound on the edge of hearing. The echo of a love that was strong enough to change the fate of a man and a world. The echo of Faye. The stories are over now. The lodge is quiet. The only sound is the gentle breathing of those who have found their rest. Let the darkness be a soft blanket. Let the silence be a gentle lullaby. Sleep well, and may your dreams be peaceful. Good night. You find yourself thinking about the nature of time in a place like this? For a god, a former god who still lives a mortal's lifetime over and over, what did a decade of peace feel like? Was it a fleeting moment? A blink of an eye between wars? Or did the slowness of this life stretch time out, making each winter feel like an age, each summer a long, warm dream? Here, time was not measured in battles won or enemies slain. It was measured in the growth of your son, in the height of the saplings you planted together, in the lines that deepened around Faye's eyes, lines of laughter and not of sorrow. This was a life built on small rituals. The morning ritual of checking the snares, the afternoon ritual of mending tools by the fire, the scrape of whetstone on steel, a familiar soothing sound, the evening ritual of storytelling, Faye's voice weaving tales of giants and gods, stories you only half understood at the time, but which held the keys to everything. These were the foundations of a new world. Not a realm of gods and monsters, but a world of 2 rooms, a hearth, and a family. It was small, it was contained, and it was more real and more precious than any golden hall in Asgard or Olympus. You can almost feel the texture of the worn wooden table beneath your palms. You can trace the knife marks where Atreus, as a small boy, learned to carve his first wooden soldier. You can see the faint scorch mark where a hot pan was placed without thinking. These are not scars of battle. They are marks of life, of a life lived. Each imperfection is a memory, a testament to the quiet, unremarkable, beautiful days that stacked one upon the other to build a fortress of peace around your heart. A fortress far stronger than any stone wall. And then, that peace had to end. Not because it failed, but because its work was done. The protection of the stave, the magic that hid you from the universe, was a cocoon. It was meant to nurture a transformation. It allowed Kratos the man to emerge from the shadow of the ghost of Sparta. It allowed Atreus to grow strong and curious, shielded from the dangers his lineage would one day attract. The felling of the marked trees was not an act of desecration. It was an announcement, a signal that the quiet time was over, and the lessons learned within these woods were about to be put to the test. The journey to the highest peak in all the realms began here, with an ending. With the smoke of a funeral pyre rising into the cold Midgardian sky. But you did not leave the home behind. Not really. You carried its stillness with you. Every time you chose patience over rage, every time you offered a quiet word of guidance to your son, instead of a roar of command, you were carrying the memory of this place. Faye's echo was not just in the trees or the river, it was in you. It was the quiet voice that reminded you of the man she believed you could be. Home, you realize, is not just a place you live. It is a place that lives in you. It is the source of the strength you draw upon when you are far from its walls. The little cabin in the woods was a crucible. It took the rage and grief of a broken god and tempered it, cooling it in the gentle waters of family and love until it became something new, something stronger. It became a quiet resolve, the resolve of a father. And so, as the image of the snow-covered roof begins to fade from your mind, you are left with a feeling of profound peace. The story of this home is not one of hiding from the world. It is the story of preparing for it. It is a reminder that the greatest strength is often found not in the fury of the storm, but in the quiet, unshakable calm at its very heart. A calm that Faye built and left for you and for her son to carry forever.